How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 13th of July 2022. I'll preface the video by saying the windows are open, so you will hear ambient noise, dogs barking, birds chirping, maybe a monkey here and there, who knows. But with all of that said, before I get into the analysis, we've had CPI numbers. They've been released this afternoon. I wanted to kind of wait long enough, for there to be whatever movement needs to happen in the market post CPI numbers, and obviously post interest rate for the Canadian dollar. And we can see we had the first initial, little bit of a response. I mean, if we just start with Bitcoin and just kind of zoom in a little bit, you can see the response. I'll just drop down to the hourly chart just to see you, just to show you, sorry, and then we'll go into all the numbers in a second. But you can see the drop here. This was actually during the announcement. I actually recorded this live. I was expecting more movement, but I kind of scrapped that video because we didn't really get anything. And then obviously we've reversed this quite nicely. The pressure to the upside, this is showing more of a slow kind of rejection. It's not really powerful. It's not really kind of been met with a lot of volume, a lot of buying pressure or anything like that. It's just simply dropped down and then kind of reversed. And it was probably just a knee-jerk reaction in the marketplace, which has since kind of recovered and just, it's not really doing much. Now, what we want to see going forward is kind of a run higher. Let's get back above 20,000. If that happens, we should stabilize again within this range, 20,000 to around about 21,000, possibly a little bit higher. But at the moment, it's a very muted response. And obviously, I think what's happening is the market now, we can kind of almost confirm that the market's waiting, towards the end of the month for the interest rate announcement to see whether it's going to be 75 basis points, or 100 basis points. Either way, the market's probably going to be waiting for that. And what we want to see at the moment is just a little bit of stability, because the longer this happens, it's so much easier to ascertain what's going to happen during the run up to the interest rate announcement towards the end of the month. Now, you can see that we've ran into and taken out the number one level, all right? And that's not what I'm looking for. So if we do this, we can see prices come down. We can see it's taken out this level, and we can see that there's been a response from there. All right, so we've come down, responded quite decent. Yeah, so there was a decent amount of sensitivity here, and obviously we followed through, negating the move. Now here's the most important part. All right, if price starts to bleed lower, I'm gonna take you to the 15-minute chart to show you. If price starts to bleed lower and comes closer to this line again, it is very likely that we are going to start continuing lower to take out number 2 down here. If we go to number 4, the 4-hour chart, it's likely if we start to drift lower, and start to end up sort of sub 18, it's going straight for 2. Yeah. The liquidity that's here. If it gets to that liquidity, there is a pretty decent liquidity pool within the primary liquidity pool, which should stop price. Okay, so it's not likely that it's just going to go straight for number 3. That would require something pretty aggressive in the market. I don't think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a little bit of stability here. I think this area is going to be defended for a little while, but we're going to continue to monitor. I'm absolutely not engaging in the markets at all. I actually posted a tweet saying if I was forced to go long or short in that moment, I'd still find a way to, stay out of the market. I don't want to know. At the moment, it's nothing more than just kind of, getting whipsawed around, kind of guessing, oh, I think it's going to go up. Oh, I think it's going to go down. I hate guessing, and I don't really, have a clear conviction or confidence that price is going to be going one way or the other. But the one thing that I absolutely do know is that the higher time frame weekly is still aggressively bearish. Okay, and until it gets at least to 14K, and dare I say even lower, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. Then this is pretty much still, in a pretty strong downtrend. It's very bearish, and we absolutely haven't formed a bottom on Bitcoin yet at all. Now, let me just be really clear about something, and I'm sure you've heard this many times. Bottoms are not formed like this. Do not let anybody tell you, and I can absolutely guarantee what I'm about to say now, right? Do not let anybody tell you, right, that this is a bottom or a bottom's being put in. If you watch a video on YouTube and they say Bitcoin's bottoming and all of this stuff, ignore it, right? I'm not saying don't watch the videos. I'm saying don't listen to that one specific thing. Bottoms are not formed like this. They're just not. I'm telling you, I can put my stamp on this, and I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, okay, that bottoms do not form like this. Yeah, we need capitulation on a global scale. We need the markets to absolutely tank, capitulate, snap back very quickly, dry up of liquidity, and then there's nowhere else for price to go but up. Okay, and then we can start that long process of kind of healing, so to speak, in the market and really start to see some upside movement. But bottoms are not formed like this. I'm sorry that I'm being kind of insistent, but I'm very confident in what I'm saying. Bottoms simply aren't formed like this. Okay, so expect a lot more whipsawing, and then obviously towards the end of the month, when the interest rate announcement is going to be posted, we'll kind of see what happens, the run up to that. Now, obviously, Binance, we'll take you to the daily. We had a really nice run to 250, and the question is 250 still on the cards? Possibly, but I don't like this movement down. You can see that it's starting to get a little bit narrower, and when that happens, generally, according to the analysis that we're seeing, the flows that we're seeing, one of two things are going to happen. Whether you get a pop up and an immediate snapback, and price starts to drive lower towards 150, or it just starts to bleed to 150, as it is. So if I go to the hourly chart just to show you something, in terms of, and we'll do this, in terms of upside, right? So you can see the 250 levels up here. This is what we were expecting. We came very close, but didn't quite cut it, right? So we've had a little bit of a reversal from the CPI number drop. Okay, what we really want to see is we want to see price back above 236 to 238, and there's a key level just here. This is very, very important on the hourly chart. Price gets here, okay, to scoop up this liquidity. Let's get that one. So price, kind of comes up to this level here. Anywhere near 236, I would expect a run or a quick snap into 238 to 240. This is absolutely key on the hourly chart for confirmation of higher time frame flows to the upside short term. Okay, I know that was a bit of a mouthful, but that's just how it is, right? So far so good. You can see that we are just forming this kind of what seems to be a tightening or a coiling, of price. Flows are still down, obviously. Even if price runs up, we get a pretty decent move to 240, between 240 and 280. It's not going to change this bearish tone of the market, and it's certainly not going to change the fact that, I have absolute confidence that we are going to be seeing, 148 at some point, or 150 at some point, whenever that's going to be. Right. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. A little bit drawn out today, but I just wanted to, post CPI numbers. So with all of that said, I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next update. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.